Images and video coming out of North Carolina tonight. Take a look at what the storm is unleashing on Morehead City, North Carolina, which is just north of Wilmington. The storm just battering that area tonight. We will show you more scenes like this coming up in just a moment. First, of course, we want to get you updated on the very latest on the First Alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Dennis Brown and Meteorologist Kevin Arnone.
All right, so we just got the 11 o'clock update from the National Hurricane Center. Florence is now a Category 1 hurricane, but I need for you to understand that this is still a big storm, it's still a hurricane, and it will still impact us in a big way as we go through the next couple of days.
Yeah, Morehead already seen 15 inches of rain in parts of North Carolina, 150,000 power outages too.
Unbelievable.
Exactly. Also, some power outages already in Horry County tonight.
It's crazy.
At last check, several thousand. So, still a lot ahead to deal with regarding this storm.
Absolutely. So let's talk about this storm right now with that 11 o'clock update for the National Hurricane Center. You will see sustained winds now at 90 miles an hour. This storm continues to move very slowly to the northwest at 6 miles an hour. Now, this is a storm that's still very large. So by any stretch of the imagination here, don't just put your guard down and say, well, it's a weakened storm and nothing's going to happen. No, this storm is very large. It is causing a lot of problems right now, and all indications is that this storm will be headed in our direction with gusty winds, also some heavy rainfall in parts of the area, even that potential for flooding and isolated tornadoes. So here at home, we're not expecting much change from the system at all. As you look at the forecast track here, again, moving to the northwest at 6 miles an hour, and we'll show you that it will likely make landfall sometime tomorrow morning as a Category 1 storm there over the coast of North Carolina, most likely in the Wilmington area. And I want you to understand that this cone gets even wider. Now, yeah, you'll see it most likely as a tropical storm, but here's the deal. This is Friday evening right here. This is Saturday evening right here. This will be into Sunday evening right here. This will be a long duration event for many of us here in the Midlands of South Carolina, meaning for a couple days here, we're going to be dealing with tropical storm or hurricane-like conditions over our area with the rain, with the gusty winds, with the possibility of isolated tornadoes. You will also notice that this cone kind of widens up a bit more over the next couple of days, and you'll notice this center line here. It still has an equal chance of drifting to the north or even drifting farther to the south. Now, let's say that this center line drifts farther to the south. That means that we would get really bad impact from this storm, even a greater likelihood of isolated tornadoes. If it drifts farther to the north, though, which some of the forecast models say that we might not see quite as much rainfall in our area, it might actually happen over to the east and maybe the eastern parts of the Midlands and to the north. So that's still a possibility. A lot can still happen in this cone of uncertainty as we go through the weekend. But right now, the weekend is still on target. It's still a big storm, and it will likely impact you. That's why we need to make sure that we are planning accordingly and not letting our guard down. You'll see most of the forecast models saying much the same thing as well, keeping us in that cone, keeping us in the threat for some big-time rain, also the winds that will likely howl across the area as we go through the next few days as well. So looking at the forecast models, and we're going to see what we're seeing here, you'll notice that we're going to see this wind and rain event as it continues to whip around us. Check out what's happening on First Alert radar. This storm here is causing a lot of problems in eastern North Carolina, even southeastern North Carolina, and we have already seen some of that video there and live images as well. We zoom into areas like Carteret County and North Carolina, New Bern and Craven County. My first station, my heart, and it's hard because it's a personal thing for me, but I'll say it anyway. I know several people, family, extended friends in the New Bern area in eastern North Carolina. I used to work there, lived there for 4.5 years, worked for the ABC station there. ABC station had to be evacuated. I called my pastor, old pastor there, called some old friends and extended family who used to cook for me. And they're doing okay. So I'm glad they're doing okay, but they have really gotten the brunt of this storm with tornado warnings over the area. The rain is causing a lot of flooding over there as well, and you'll see all this rainfall stretching over portions of the Outer Banks as well, and eventually some of that wet weather will head in our direction. I want you to look at this tropical wind pattern, and this is a model here, and you'll notice that our wind speeds will likely go up as this system gets even closer to the area. So don't think that just because it's a Category 1 storm that this is a time for you to say, oh, Dennis, nothing will happen here. We're going to be okay. No, ma'am. No, sir. The message has not changed. This system will likely head into our state as we go through the weekend, causing some gusty winds here and there. You'll see gusts around 45 miles an hour as we go into Saturday afternoon, even higher for our eastern areas, then up to around 62 miles an hour, 4 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. If you haven't been through a hurricane or tropical storm before and you're trying to sleep, when you have 62-mile-an-hour winds whipping you around, you're going to hear the roof starting to shake and creak, and the windows starting to do the same thing in a few areas as well. So we need to make sure that we are battening down the hatches and are going to be safe. You'll also notice that once we move into Tuesday and Wednesday, things really start to calm down, but we might still deal with some impacts from flooding if we get some of those rainfall amounts that we're expecting. These rainfall amounts and even the winds, all subject to change depending on that exact track of Florence. But right now, we're looking at Newberry County, Saluda County, and the CSRA. We could see about 3 to 6 inches of rain, sustained winds around 20 to 25 miles an hour, gusts around 30. For the Midlands here, the central part of the Midlands, Columbia, Richland County, and Lexington County, parts of Orangeburg County, and Kershaw, we could see about 30 to 40 mile per hour sustained winds, maybe gusts up to around 50. And again, depending on the track, we could be on the lower end of that 6 or even on the higher end. And so we need to be careful about this because we could see a little bit lower or maybe a little bit higher, and just a little shift, and just ever so slightly in the track of the storm will change everything. It could be a game changer. Then as we look at areas to the east here for Lee County, Sumter County, and Clarendon County, we could be on the higher end of that rain and wind gust, maybe up to around 60 or 70 miles an hour. And you'll see it right here in this map as well, as we could see areas that could see wind gusts to around 50 miles an hour or higher, especially going from Saturday into Sunday. Now tomorrow, most of the highest winds will likely be up to our eastern areas, not 70 miles an hour just yet, but this is mainly for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. For tomorrow, if you're still trying to plan, I think a lot of us will be okay during the morning, afternoon as well, but then we'll start seeing some of those wind speeds going up, and also we'll start seeing some rain bands moving in, especially from east to west. And with some of those winds there, it kind of went past me, but there you go, going into Saturday, we could see scattered rain, not scattered rain, but scattered power outages because of the winds, and even a bit more in the moderate category for a few spots. That's into Saturday. So with those winds, we need to be prepared for down tree limbs, down trees, down power lines, and be careful about some of that as well. Quickly, I'm just going to show you this for tonight. We have tropical storm force winds that will likely arrive for areas in the PD, and breezes will start going up for the eastern part of the Midlands. For Friday, the storm is expected to make landfall tomorrow morning. Then some rain bands will move in from the east, and then we're going to have some gusty winds as well. And those rain bands will start to move to the west as we go through the weekend. The storm will slow down just a bit more with some flooding rainfall, possible with isolated tornadoes, even for Friday late in the day for our eastern areas. And then as we go through your Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be dealing with isolated tornadoes. They will be possible, heavy rain, and the flooding. Turn around, don't drown. Now, I know that's a lot, okay, to kind of ingest at this point, but with more information to give you, because we're trying to give you as much information as we can, here's meteorologist Kevin Arnone.
Diminis, thank you. And I want to start off with this camera view here. This is a Wilmington, and I actually was just watching, because it's in our screen over here, we were just seeing some power flashes, kind of a green flow. That's really the transformers that are probably falling because of either trees falling into the power lines or just the power lines falling. And whenever you see this green light lighting up the clouds, that's a power flash. Typically you see that during tornadoes. So I just wanted to point that out. But if we could pop up the graphics, because I have some new information for everyone. We just got a new tropical storm warning now for Calhoun and Orangeburg counties. That goes along with Lee, Sumter, and Clarendon counties. And for the first time ever, tropical storm watch now for Lexington and Richland counties, as well as Fairfield counties and Kershaw. So again, they just popped this up. Diminis and I actually were wondering all day, because we've been kind of following if they were going to issue these, and sure enough they did. So again, there's the new information that we just got here to the Weather Center. We're going to continue. I just want to pop up the graphics here and continue through the next one. Oh, there we go. So as far as what's going on right now, this is actual current wind gusts of some buoys that are actually out there by the eye of the storm. We actually had 112 miles per hour earlier with buoy 41037. And again, look at Wilmington now, 53 mile an hour gusts, Jacksonville 51 mile an hour gusts as well. And this is going to continue to move towards the really towards the northwest, and very slowly, only moving about 6 miles per hour now. And then eventually you will continue to see these get stronger as we go through the next couple of hours. Here's a storm right now, and it's going to continue the latest trend. But look at all around the eye wall. You can see all the rain. I've already seen some reports close to 15 to 17 inches of rain in this general area where you're seeing these bands. So of course we're going to have